All right, y'all, let's get into that new Tyla album. Y'all ready? Let's go.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Bright here, the R&B kid, and I'm back again with another episode of On the Bright Side TV. Welcome back. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing very well. Listen, y'all, I know life is life, and as always, but we got to keep it pushing, and we got to be thankful for the good, you know what I'm saying? And disclaimer, my full reaction to this album will be on my Patreon, so definitely go subscribe to my Patreon. Right now it's $3 a month, and go subscribe, go join the community. My Patreon, I'll have my longer reaction videos, other exclusive videos that I won't have on my YouTube channel. They'll all be on my Patreon. So definitely go support my Patreon, go subscribe and join right now. Join the community, and I appreciate y'all. Definitely go support right now. I appreciate y'all, man. I definitely want to top up on this camera to talk about Tyla's new self-titled debut album, Tyla, which just dropped this past Friday on March 22nd, 2024. On Facts and Epic Records. I have definitely been a water bottle / tiger. I'm not sure which one we're going with, but I'm both. I've definitely been a fan of Tyla for a while now. I remember in the summer of 2023, I kept hearing the song Water on my Spotify playlist all the time, and I was trying to ignore it, and I was trying to act like I didn't really care about it. I was like, this song, like Spotify is trying to shove it down my throat, and I don't really want to, I'm not here for it. And I was trying to act like I didn't like the song, but I secretly got my life. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? And then at some point, like in the summer, I just gave in. I was like, okay, you know what? I love this song. I'll let Spotify play it whenever it comes on. And thankfully, the world also caught on like in the summer, going towards the fall, and Water became this big, global smash in the past year. It's been doing its thing. I'm so happy for Tyla for this moment and everything she has achieved with this amazing record. I really love with Water how Tyla kind of has brought back this fun, like early 2000s, the fun, breezy, flirty, sexy, cute vibe that I feel like we've really kind of missing from like pop and R&B music for a while now. Not with everybody, but for a lot of people, we've been kind of missing that sound and that vibe, that that tropical, breezy vibe. And I really feel like Tyla's bringing that back in a really cool way, because she's also mixing in her, Amapiano and South African influence as well with her heritage, and with, her foundation of Amapiano as, the main music she makes. So I've loved the sound and the vibe that Tyla has brought into the industry. And I, for one, don't think she's a flash in the pan. I don't think she's a one-hit wonder. Have y'all heard On and On? Have y'all heard Truth or Dare? Like, stop playing with me. And, I definitely haven't fully tapped into a lot of her earlier songs before Water, but I have heard Been Thinking. That was a cool song. The song with her and Iris Star, Girl Next Door. I've never been in love with that song, but I do love both ladies, so it's all good. And I'm excited for any future collaborations they'll have, because I love both of them. But yeah, Tyla has a lot of great songs besides Water. So I'm tired of people acting like Water's the only good song, because it's like, no, that's just the biggest, but she has plenty of other bops that should be just as big, if not bigger than Water. So let's get into that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I'm excited for this moment. After the success of Water, it did its thing last year and still doing its thing right now. It won the first Grammy for Best African Music Performance, which is amazing. I definitely knew it would win, and I'm happy for Tyla. Which it's crazy that she's a Grammy winner at 22 years old, which is crazy, before her album even came out. But the song is great, so I'm not surprised it won. So happy for her for being the first recipient of that Grammy. That's a very historic achievement. And yeah, man. So after winning a Grammy, all the success of the song, she's just been everywhere, pounding the pavement, promoting this album and just promoting herself. And I feel like her and her team have been killing it so far. Unfortunately, my girl's tour got canceled because of, a new injury that I think she's been dealing with. She didn't give us the details, which is unfortunate, but I am happy that she's going to take care of herself, and hopefully she'll be ready to kill it when she goes on her first world tour, whenever it'll be in the future. So Tyla, I'm sorry you had to cancel this tour, but I know the next one you'll be ready to go. So I think you'll be good. In terms of credits, looks like the main producer behind her album is Sammy Soso. That's the main guy she works with. He looks like the main producer behind the boards for this project. There's some other names in here, but the only other name that I recognize is Ari Penn Smith, so shout out to him. Yeah, man, in terms of, other featured artists, we got, Kelvin Momo, who I think is a South African artist. We got Thames, Gunna, and Skilly Bang on Jump. I can't wait to hear that track. Becky G and Travis Scott on the Water remix. So, yeah, man. And in terms of the sound of this album, I'm assuming it's going to be mostly Amapiano with, flares and, mixed in vibes of like, pop and R&B as well. Maybe alternative or hip hop. So I'm expecting like a hodgepodge of sounds, but mostly based in Amapiano and pop and R&B. So let's see what we get, but I'm excited. Here's my reaction to Tyla's self-titled debut album, Tyla. Y'all ready? Let's go. Track 1, Intro, featuring Kelvin Momo. Track 2, Safer. I love the oohs in the background. Ooh. And we had some bad times too. Hey. No, I'm safe on running. Oh, running. Oh, running. Hey. I love this arrangement. Oh. Okay. That was cute. Track 3, Water. And track 4, Truth or Dare. We're going to skip past these because I've been heard these, so it won't be reaction. But I obviously love both of these songs, and I hope you do as well. Track 5, Number 1, featuring Thames. Oh, I love it. Love that. Dodging feelings. Love that. Okay. Come on, Thames. These drums are insane. Yo, I really love with this, like with songs like, Safer and, Truth or Dare, Number 1. I love how all these songs are all about like self-empowerment. Like, I love how Tyla is really showing that as a major theme on this album so far. Is like, she's young, but she's not stupid, and she knows what she wants from herself, and she knows her worth. And a lot of these songs are like exuding like this like ultimate confidence and like self-assured energy that I love. And I feel like it's a side effect of like, I don't know if I want to say it's like a side effect of like her upbringing or like just where she's from. I don't know if it's like a South African thing in general, or if it's just like something that is like that she's pouring out of herself from the music itself. I don't know, but I just love how even as young as she is, like her debut album is not just a bunch of songs like, oh my God, I love this man, I want to, when he's gonna call me. It's not like, oh my God, you broke my heart. It's like, no, like, I want to be free from your bullshit. I want to be safe. Like, I'm number one. You need to recognize that. Like, I love that for her. Like, and I love that she's giving this energy and these lyrics and this type of music to all the young girls that are looking up to her. Because they, like, our young women need that right now. Like, they need the pop star being like, nah, like, I'm number one. Like, what's up? Instead of like, woe is me and oh, this man ain't shit, or I'm in love with him and I'm sprung and I can't get up. Like, I love how Tyla's taking a different routes. And I feel like she's not afraid to make songs like that when it's relevant to her, when it's necessary. But I feel like she's purposely taking a different route to the young pop star, global pop sensation route that we've always seen, past stars take, and I love that for her. No compromising, hey. Okay. Compromising. Track 6, Breathe Me. Okay. Yes. Okay. Breathe me. Right. Oh, she sounds so good on this one. I feel your lungs. Hey, baby, hey. Oh, this might be a fave of mine so far. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Is that a flute in the background? I love that. Tracks 7 and 8. Butterflies and On and On. We're not going to do reaction because I already been knew these songs. I love both of these records, especially On and On. Both amazing records, and I hope you love them as well. Track 9, Jump, with Gunna and Skilly Bang. Okay. Hey. Okay. Okay. Come on, Gunna. Oh yeah. Hey. Right. Okay. You know I love to make it. Track 10, ART. Okay. Body. Hey. I love this theme of, art and painting. Come on. I love these lyrics. Your peace. Hey. Your peace. Your ART. Track 11, On My Body with Becky G. Ooh. Okay. Grata. Oh, Becky sound good in this too. Okay. Like me now. Woo! Come on. Cha cha. Hey. What? Oh, this is nuts. Track 12, Priorities. Okay, we slowing it down a little bit. Yo, Tyla, I can relate to this song, sis. Oh, see, she putting a spell on me. Ooh. Love that. Something. My priority. I can't. Was straight, right? Love that. Track 13, To Last. This is a gorgeous breakup song. Woo, come on, harmony. Yes. 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 Come on. I'm in a club right now, just. You feel me? And the last track on the album is the Water remix with Travis Scott. We've been heard that. I love the remix. Was surprised when it came out, but at the end of the day, Travis Scott, I think he did a great job on it. The video was whatever, but love the remix. Shout out to Tyla and Travis Scott for that remix. But yeah, man, so that is the album. That is it. That was my first reaction. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I love the album on first listen, but I definitely want to, dive in and listen to it a few more times so I can come back and give you guys a full review for the album. So yeah, let me live with the album and I'll come back with the full review, which will be coming up right now. All right, y'all. I've heard the album a couple times now. I've lived with it for several days, so I want to give you guys my final review for the album. All in all, I want to get to the biggest point, which I think is a lot of people really having an issue or, just talking about the fact that they feel like, she's a one-hit wonder. She has like this like singular sound that she can't get out of. And I just want to address that because I think I even mentioned it for, for the Patreon folks. You guys will know that during my reaction for several songs, I mentioned this and I talked about how I felt like, I can't remember what song it was, but I talked about how when I first listened to the album, I was hoping that I had, was hearing more variation in the music in terms of like, just the beats, the vibe of the songs. Like I felt like they were all similar. But I think that was the easy thing to think of when I was first hearing the album, and also because of what everyone else was saying. But to be honest, I'm gonna be fair. The truth is, I don't think that's really a fair critique for Tyla in this album, because at the end of the day, while I don't think I would disagree that she does have a singular sound. I think she definitely does. But I don't mind that she has a singular sound. Like I don't mind that she has a sound that I want to say I would describe as like, like a carefree but sexy and flirty, but at the same time so grounded and spiritual, global Afro pop Amapiano sound. I would say that's Tyla's, like that's her sound and that's her brand. And I feel like as of right now, that's what I most identify with her and her music. And I think that sound is very singular and it's consistent throughout this project and throughout her, her catalog and her career up to date. But I don't have a problem with that. I really don't, because at the end of the day, it's refreshing, in my opinion, to have, an artist as young and as easily like marketable as her, not like taking and not going down the basic route that we've seen so many other artists take in years and decades past on their quest to pop stardom. I don't want to name any names, but when we look at, several artists from the past who have kind of, done like the whole pop star thing, whether it's like, other black artists or just, other pop R&B artists in general, even other African artists, like who are trying to, go for, the global audience and, in the pop audience. We've seen them, especially women, we've seen them take like, this, very basic, I'm the sexy girl and I'm gonna make these cute bops, and we've seen them take this route of, just, with the imagery and with the lyricism and the music itself. We've seen them when they first started out, like I'm not saying their whole careers, but when they first started out in their quest for pop stardom, we saw them take this basic route. And I think for people who just stop with Tyla at Water, they think that, and that's fine. But when you really dive into this album, and when you really dive into the music for real, like when you really when you really sit with it, this album has so many more layers to it. It's so much deeper than Water and that kind of more basic pop route that Water kind of, symbolizes. And, with the sound that Tyla has, like I mentioned, I don't mind that it's somewhat repetitive throughout this album, because she's doing it her way on her own terms and she's killing it every time. But, to go back to my earlier point, there's so many artists we've seen that have taken more of that basic route to pop stardom, but I really appreciate the fact that Tyla, as she's now starting out, is doing it, and she's doing her career in her music. She's really starting out with a sound that's true to her, and a sound that she sounds amazing on, and she executes perfectly every time. And you have to give her credit for that. It's not easy to, I think, have a sound and a brand and an image that is so unique and so consistent this early in a pop star's career. Whether it's an African pop artist or like a European, American, it doesn't it's so easy to have so many pop stars when they're starting out kind of blend into what else is going on in the culture, or kind of come up with their own vibe, but it be kind of discombobulated and a little bit convoluted and not organized, and a little bit just even R&B artists, rap artists, we've seen this time and time again where brand new artists starting out are still trying to find their way, and they're still trying to find their zhuzh, and they're trying to find their vision and their voice in their music. And in my opinion, y'all are coming at Tyla for having a bunch of waters on this album, but one, that's not really true. And even if it is true in some places, I'm not mad at it, because she does this so well, and she had this this vision that she has for herself, and the way she's carrying herself with her music and career is so well executed. It's so consistent, and it's true to her. Like, you can tell it's not like her just trying to find herself. Like, you could tell like she knows her sound, she knows what she wants, and she's killing it. So you have to give her credit for that. I really appreciate, for this being her debut album, how clear Tyla, feels in the music she's putting out. And I am thankful for that. And at the end of the day, y'all are not really giving her credit for, embedding the Amapiano sound throughout every track on this album. Like, that's not an easy thing to do. I mean, it's easy to have like, Amapiano, beats all throughout a project, and that's fine. But the fact that I feel like she was able to create this album that has Amapiano and Afrobeats at the foundation of like every track, pretty much almost every track, besides like Butterflies maybe. But other than that, like Amapiano and Afrobeats at the foundation of like all these tracks. Jump has more of a dancehall vibe, similar to On My Body. That's more of like a global pop record. But there's that's what most of this album is grounded in, is Amapiano, Afrobeats, and yet her and her team of songwriters and producers still found a way to make sure every song had different concepts, and there's so many different melodies and energies throughout each of these tracks that really does make them stand apart. When I first reacted to the album, I was like, oh, I feel like these songs all kind of sound the same. And maybe that's somewhat true, but when you really live with this album, you realize that every song really does have its own energy, its own personality, its own sound, with this foundation of Amapiano and Afrobeats holding it down. And it's giving Tyla this very unique artistic vision, like I said, like this Amapiano Afrobeat sound that has like a pop sheen to it, like some R&B vibes in there. It's carefree, it's sexy, kind of goes like a early 2000s vibe with a carefree, flirty, sexy, breathy vibe of it all, like let's party, cute girl vibe. But at the same time, it has this really cool essence of like spirituality and groundedness and confidence and assuredness that you don't really see from a lot of, you know, pop stars when they're starting out with their first album and like at the very beginning of their career. So I really appreciate that about Tyla, and I feel like I have to commend it. You know, I think it's an easy critique to say, oh, all these songs sound the same, and maybe that's true, but at the end of the day, in my opinion, once you really live with these tracks, you know, they all have these different, you know, energies and vibes that really make them stand apart, in my opinion. Like, I can pinpoint, you know, highlights for myself personally once I've lived with them, and they all have a similar, you know, they all have a similar musicality to them, but they all have their own unique you know, concept and energy. So you have to appreciate that. And I just want to, you know, highlight that and commend Tyla and her team for that, because I feel like that's an easy critique that a lot of people have been giving her, but it's not fair in my opinion. So I just want to talk about that. So that's the main thing I love about this album. I really feel like this album is just musically solid. It's consistent. My girl knows what she wants. She's, you know, the album is just, it's made well. It's produced well. Another thing I really want to highlight on this album is also the vocal work. I was really surprised by just how good Tyla sounds on this album. I mentioned it, you know, during several of my reactions, but man, like, Tyla's beautiful, breathy, light, but, you know, intentional tone. She has this really beautiful tone that is not, you know, not powerful. You know, she doesn't have like a, you know, like a barn burner Whitney Houston type of voice, but she uses it so well in all these tracks. Her harmonies were crazy in several places. I liked where, you know, she did great work with the backgrounds. It's just, I don't know, it's like her voice just like melded with the production so well on every track. And even the feature artists, you know, they came in and did their thing. I feel like she picked like the perfect feature artists for like all the features. They were perfect for the tracks that they were on. You know, like you can really tell like she took time to like make sure this album really was good as a package. The sequencing was on point too. Like every track flowed so well into the next, and the sequencing made sense in terms of, you know, each song's concepts and the way one song flowed into the next. And everything just felt right about this project. I really am low-key surprised by how good it was and how good it was put together for this being not only a debut album, but by an you know, an album by an artist that really up until like, you know, this past summer was like a nobody to most people. Like nobody knew about this girl, and for some reason, not for some reason, but after the success of Water, it's like her team wrangled and they produced this amazing debut album for the world. You know, this is really a hit or miss, you know, make or break moment for her, and she stepped up to the plate. And it has me so excited for her career and what else she's gonna do in the future. Like I really am so excited for future singles for this album. I mean, you know, in my opinion, I think we need to see this summer Jump needs to, you know, after ART does this thing, you know, this spring, early summer. After ART does this thing, I want to see Jump. I need a video for Jump. We need that in the summer going crazy. I could also see On My Body being a future single for like more of the global Latin crowd as well, with Becky G up in there. There's so many songs that could be hits off this album that she has way more, you know, which is a good problem to have. She has plenty to choose from. She's already put out Truth or Dare and On and Butterflies, and they haven't really moved like that, which is unfortunate because they're all great songs, especially Truth or Dare and On. Those should have been hits. There's still time. But in my opinion, for all the new songs, I would definitely feel like Jump should be a single. On My Body should be a single. You know, even though I don't know if they should be singles, I definitely love, you know, Safer and Breathe Me as well. So, you know, gotta give love to those tracks for sure. But yeah, man, I just really am so proud of Tyla and her team for putting this album together. And it's honestly better than I thought it would be. And that's not shade. I just kind of thought, like, you know, this album wasn't going to be put together as well as it was, and it really is a solid project. It's sequenced well, it's produced well. The vocal work is so amazing. I loved her harmonies. I loved her backgrounds. Like I loved how she used her voice in, you know, the falsetto in some places. Like everything was like sexy and it just, but like, you know, it felt good. Like I don't know how to describe it. It really was a really solid project as a whole for sure. And I'm also excited when, you know, thinking about her future career. I'm excited to see, you know, where she'll go in the future from here in terms of not only the rollout of this album, but, you know, I'm excited to see like what her team will do for future singles, videos, performances, you know, other promotional ideas. I'm excited to see what they'll do to get this album out there, you know, throughout the rest of this year and into next year for sure. But I also can't wait to see what happens with her career when she hopefully, not because she needs to, but because I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, hopefully that she'll have that desire to expand her career, not only in America, but really in a global sense. I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, hopefully her, you know, start linking up with like, you know, American producers and like, you know, American, like, you know, pop and R&B artists and just other, you know, producers and artists from around the world who she, you know, can give her, some like unique and different vibes. Like I would love to see what she would do when she starts collaborating with like EDM producers and other pop artists and pop producers and more rap artists and rappers. Like I feel like she's someone that can literally touch so many different genres and make it all work. I feel like she can do pop, she can do R&B, she can do African, Afrobeats, Amapiano, which is that's her bass. She can do dancehall, reggae. I feel like she can do like more of the EDM pop shit. I feel like she can do alternative. I feel like she can be a great feature on rap songs. Like I really feel like there's no limit for her musically. And I feel that with her voice, with her image, with her sound, I feel like there's no limit to what she can do and the worlds that she can touch. So I'm looking forward to seeing, what her and her team decide to do for her, as we continue to move into her career. Because I'm excited for her future. I feel like the future is so bright for her. I really see so many things for her. So I'm excited to see like, what her team comes up with in terms of, collaborations and just ideas for future projects and link ups and, just different things that they'll have her do. So I'm excited for that for sure. So those are all my highlights and things I really loved about this album and just thinking about her career moving forward. But in terms of my critiques for the album, I didn't really have many critiques, which is, really surprising for a debut album. I didn't really have many notes. I think my main critique for this album is I just wish a lot more of the songs were longer. And I feel like it's something that really annoys me because these songs are all bops and it's like by the time you fully get into it, it's like about to be over. And it's like, that's the name of the game these days. So I'm very used to that. I think we're all very used to short songs. That's the name of the game. Everybody's making short songs these days, to help with streaming numbers. It's the culture these days, and I get it. But at the same time, when you have so many great bops like Tyla does on this album, it's like I wish more of them were more of like, 3-4 minutes to really give me that time to really get into the song. Especially, when I'm thinking about songs like, On My Body, Jump, Safer, Number One. Like there's so many songs that I'm like, okay, this is such a good song, and I'm not mad that it's short because I get it, but I feel like it could have easily been like just a little bit longer. Like add another verse on there. I want to hear the hook one more time, or give me a bridge. Like I that's a critique I have for a lot of artists these days, and it is what it is. But again, I'll say with Tyla, I really wish a lot more of these songs were longer because I feel like they deserve it, especially the ones that are bops that probably will be singles. Like I wish they were longer, man. I know that's probably not her fault because that's just how music is these days. But if I were her manager, people on her team, I would have been like, you know what? I know everybody wants short songs these days, but no, these songs are too good. We gotta make them a little bit longer, like at least 3-4 minutes, like not these 2-minute songs. Like, so that's my thing. I wish these songs were a lot longer because they're all bops, but it is what it is. And also, another critique I have for the album, something that really didn't bother me, but I definitely can, make a note of it, and that's that I definitely think, there could have been a lot more like deeper and more complex and more interesting songwriting throughout the album. I think one of the tracks that sticks out to me that is really good in that sense is Priorities. Like that track is really talking about some deep shit. It's still a bop, but you can tell that that's a track where she was really tapping into her personal experience and really pulling from her heart and really, that was a song that was just really written well as ART. Like I think ART is a song that is written so creatively. It's such an interesting record. It's complex, simple, but complex at the same time. But besides those two songs that come off the top of my mind, I really feel like there could have been a lot more more interesting and deeper songwriting. But then at the same time, I give her grace because this is her first album. It's her debut project. She's very young. She's still brand new to the game. So she has time to definitely build and make more interesting, more complex, more deeper music lyrically. She has time. So I'm not pressed about it, but I definitely can note that, for her first project, I definitely can note that a lot of these songs were just, cute bops and they were great, but it's not, it's not given 10s across the board, in terms of the lyricality. Is that a word, lyricality? I don't know, but yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, a lot of these songs are just cute bops, but it wasn't given deep messages and really deep. But that's fine. Like, they're cute bops. That's fine. And that's what they're here for. So I'm not mad about that, but I definitely note that I think there's definitely room for her to grow lyrically as she continues to evolve in her career. So, but for this being her debut album, I'll give it grace. These songs were cute as hell anyways, and they were all bops, so we'll take it, you know what I'm saying? And my only other critique for this album is I really didn't like the intro like that. It's not that I didn't like it, but I really wish the intro is cute, but I really wish it was something that was more memorable and that made more of a statement for her coming out party for her first project. I felt like it was just her and Kelvin Momo and other people just talking and vibing in the studio. But it's nah, this is your first album. If you're gonna give me an intro, give me something that makes me feel like this is I'm Tyla, I'm here, this is my first project, let's go, let's do this. I feel like that intro should have been something else that was more interesting and more memorable and made more of a statement for her first, like literally her first song of her first project. Not a big deal, but something I definitely noticed. And I was like, I feel like they could have made the intro something more interesting besides what it was, but it's not a big deal. And maybe I guess there could have been like cool interludes, but I don't think this album was an album that really calls for interludes, but I really would have been interested to see like what her team could have came up with like for interludes. But this album didn't need them, so it's fine. But yeah, y'all, I think those are my overall thoughts on the album. Let me know what y'all thought. In terms of my favorite tracks on the album, this is hard because I pretty much love every track, and it's hard to pick out favorites because they're all great in their own ways. But I guess if I had to pick favorites, I would say probably Water, obviously, because that's a forever bop. Gotta say Water. Truth or Dare, for sure. I've been love that song. Breathe Me. That song is like low-key one of my personal favorites. I love Breathe Me. That song is like, it takes me to a zone every time I hear it. I love that song. Inhale harder, when I hear your heart beat louder. I love that song. So Breathe Me, definitely one of my favorites for sure. I love Breathe Me. Also, On and On. Been love that song. Jump, for sure. Jump is a whole bop. Like, that song gets me up every time I hear it. That song just, yeah. Every time I hear that song, I'm like, dum, dum. Like, that song is a banger. Like, it gets me there for sure. So I love Jump for sure. I guess I gotta say ART as well. I gotta give love to ART. I love that track. That track is so creative. It's so cool. It's such a vibe. On My Body, for sure. That track is insane. Shout out to her, her and Becky G. That track is a banger. Love that song. I wish it was longer. And definitely Priorities. Again, I love every track on this album, but those are my favorite tracks. Priorities is definitely a special track that I'm glad she included on the album. And I love that song musically, conceptually. It's just such a highlight. So I definitely want to highlight that one as well. So those are my favorite tracks for the album. And in terms of my rating for this album, I was going back and forth between a 3.5 and a 4. But really, because I feel like this album is so solid, there's not really much I hate about it. I love every track, and I feel like it's just made well. Even though this is her debut album, I'm going to go ahead and give this album a 4 out of 5 stars. I feel like a 4 out of 5 feels right for this project. I'm really proud of what Tyla did on this album. It's solid. It's a bop from start to finish. Hits galore. It's put together well. It's made well, sung well. It's written well. It could be written a little better in some places, but it's a debut album by a pop artist, so we'll take it. And she still made bops on bops on bops, and it's put together well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she'll do from here in the future. But for now, this album definitely gets a 4 out of 5 from me because it's solid as a rock. You feel me? All right, y'all. So that was my first reaction and my review for Tyla's debut album, Tyla. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know your thoughts about the album down below. Do you guys hate it? Do you love it? Do you think it's okay? It could have been better. Let me know all your thoughts about the album. Let me know how you think it could have been better. Let me know if you love it and you feel like you have no notes. Let me know if you think it was terrible and she should have went back and redid it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what are your favorite tracks, your least favorite tracks. Let me know what ideas you have for her promo and future singles and all that. Let me know what you think her and her team should do for the rest of this album era. Let me know what y'all think down below. I appreciate y'all. And if you haven't already, don't forget to join my Patreon. Go join the community on Patreon. My Patreon is $3 a month, and on my Patreon, I'll have my full reactions, my full exclusive, full videos for reactions, exclusive videos, and all that and more on my Patreon. So go check it out. Go join, go support. Appreciate y'all. I'll have my full video for this reaction on my Patreon as well. So definitely go check it out. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, okay? Appreciate y'all. But all right, y'all. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. This has been your boy Bright, the R&B kid. But for now, I'm signing off, baby. Bye, y'all. Peace.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no. I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no. Relax just a little bit. You don't gotta worry, you can just